Howdy, we're going to talk about our first primer, Introduction to Linux, and I'm Minwin, an undergraduate student technician here at HPRC. HPRC falls under the Division of Research, and we have supercomputing resources that helps in accelerating research for Texas A&M University as well as external users. Throughout the year, we offer a lot of primers and short courses, and for this fall, this is our first primer where we'll be teaching Introduction to Linux. And this will be a hand-on session. The demonstration will be done through the Open On-Demand portal. I will explain how to access all of that shortly. And I would like to welcome all of you. And also want everyone to be aware that we have two sets of audience here, people at Texas A&M and people from Access. So there can be some instructions that might be different for Texas A&M people or for the external users. We also have an amazing team of HPRC staff and help desk members on the call who can assist you with any issues that you may have during this course. All right, let's dive in. So HPRC Group offers high-performance computing cluster, ACES, Faster, Grace, and Launch. In order to access Faster and Grace, you need to have an HPRC account. And this option is only for Texas A&M students and staff. If you are an external user, you need an access ID in order to access Faster, Launch, and ACES. And for today's demonstration, I'll be using Faster so that both Texas A&M students and external users can access it. And this is the link to our knowledge base, which will be very helpful for you once you start using our cluster. So there's an announcement that I have to make. You're not allowed to share your password for your HPRC account with anyone. This is prohibited by Texas law and Texas A&M regulations. So please make sure that you don't ever share your password. And now we will be using the portal to access our cluster. And you can do that by going to our website, which is hprc.tamu.edu. And I'll also show you how to do that. So you go to HPRC. And this is our web page. If you are a Texas A&M student or staff, you have to go to portal and then faster portal. And because I was already logged in, so it didn't ask me for my credentials, but after you provide your credentials, you'll be redirected to the Open On-Demand portal. And if you're an Access user, you have to go to portal and faster portal access. And it would take you to an access page where you have to specify your identity provider. And in my case, is Texas A&M University. And then click log on. And then you'll be redirected to the same Open On-Demand portal after you're providing your credentials. And also, you need to have an account with us in order to follow along the slides. But if you don't have one, it's okay. You're not going to fully participate, but you can get an account later. Let's move on. And once you in the dashboard, you will hover above cluster and select Faster Shell Access to start an in-browser Linux terminal on Faster. And let me show you how to do it. So you hover above cluster, select Faster Shell Access. And you have to type your password in again. And it will ask you for two-factor authentication. And once you authenticate it, you'll be logged into the Faster portal. And as you can see, the first part, here's my net ID. And the second part is the name of the machine. And in this case, is Faster2. So this is one way to log in our cluster. Can everybody try it out and let me know if you have any trouble? And once you're comfortable with Linux, you can also access our cluster using SSH. And here's the slide for reference. But uh, we're not doing it today because most people are new to Linux. So if you're familiar with it, you can also use SSH. And now we're going to dive into the main part of the primer today, which is the Linux commands. I'll be doing all of these commands on my portal, and I really encourage everyone to try them out on your shell as well, so that you're able to understand what exactly we're trying to achieve. And the first command we're talking about is pwd, or print working directory. Linux has a directory structure. To understand where you're at any given point in time, pwd, or print working directory, is a very helpful command that will show you the exact path that you're in. I will demonstrate for you on the terminal. So, so when I type pwd and then enter, it will give me the path to my current working directory. And in this case, I'm inside home directory, inside under my user net ID. And this is the default directory. Once you log in, you'll be inside the home directory. The next command is ls, which lists directory contents. You in your home directory. Now you want to check what folders and files are present inside that directory. You can type ls and enter. And right now I have only have one folder in my home directory. In your cases, there's a chance that you don't see anything. It means your home directory is empty, which is totally fine because you're just starting to use faster. Okay, so the directory structure in Linux, like I said, is an inverted tree data structure. If you're familiar with computer science data structure, it starts with root and it goes all the way up. For this primer, we'll be focusing on the home directory. And within home, there can be many folders for each one of the user. Say you're trying to find a path for the docs folder, and since docs is inside Chris, which is in turn inside home, it will be slash home slash Chris slash docs. And let's try some of the direct command now. First, we make a new directory, and then we go inside it. And I'll demonstrate how you do it in my portal. So the first command is mkdir, and then the name of the commit of the directory you want to make. So I will name it my underscore dir. And this command will make a new directory inside my current directory. And right now we're in home directory. So I enter, and you don't see anything. And if you don't see anything in Linux, it's good because it means that there's no error and the command has been executed. Now you want to check that our newly made directory has been created or not. And remember, the command we use to list out the contents of a directory is ls. So we type ls, enter, and as you can see, the directory my underscore dir has been created. After you created a directory, now you can go inside that directory and work inside of it using the cd command, which stands for change directory. I'll show you how to do it. So you cd my enter, and now we in my underscore dir directory. And if you want to check your current working directory, you can type pwd, enter, and it should show you the current directory you're working on. So that's how you navigate inside the Linux directory structure. You can also use cd space dot dot to back out of the current directory. So we're in my underscore there now, and if I do cd space dot dot, it will take me back to my netid uh, my home directory. The next command is rmdir, but I've explained it in a minute. First, let's discuss a few commands you can use to change directory. So at any given point in time, you're somewhere and you want to go back to your home directory, you can type cd or cd space tilde or cd space tilde slash also works. So I'm in my home directory, but if I say if I'm in my dir and I want to go back to my home directory, I type cd, enter, and I go back to the home directory. If you don't want to switch the parent directory, want to switch to the parent directory of the current directory, you have to add the two dots after cd like I've shown you before. So if you are in the directory and you want to go one step back, you can type cd space dot dot and you be redirected to the parent directory. And if you want to return to previous directory, which is the directory you were in before, you can use the dash. So cd space dash, and you go back to the previous directory. So cd dash, and I'm back in my dir directory. And let's try this exercise to understand how these commands work. So everyone, please follow along this exercise on the right. So first, I'll go to my home directory. Okay, I'm in my home directory. Now I'll create a new directory called temp. So how do I do that? I do mkdir space enter. And I want to create another directory inside the temp directory. So one, enter. And then I go inside the temp directory. Okay, so now I want to know where am I at. And I can do pwd. So it should give me the path to my current working directory, which is the temp directory. Now I'll go inside the third one directory that we just created. And I'll print my current working directory, which is third one. Now I want to move back two step, and I can use the dot dot. So cd slash dot. And since we're in dir one, it should take me back to my home directory because we're moving back two step. And yeah, we're in my home directory. You can print out your current working directory. So you can also try cd space dash to take you to the previous directory. We do cd space dash enter, and we redirected back to dir one. So whatever is the previous directory, you'll be redirected to that. Right. Let's talk about absolute path versus relative path. So absolute path always points to the same location regardless of where you are in the system. And since Linux has a tree structure, we have directory and directories inside them. So there's a chance that you are inside, say, the project folder, and you want to see the contents inside the docs folder. So how do you do it? Let me go to the portal. first, let me create two directory. So let me go back to home. Okay. I'll create two directory. One is projects and the other one is docs. So I'll go inside docs, and inside docs, I want to create another directory called readme. Okay. So I'm inside projects now, and we want to see the contents of the docs folder, but we don't want to move anywhere. We just want to see the content of it. So to list out the contents, we use ls. But we want to see the contents inside the docs folder, not the project folder. So we add the path to the doc folder, which is home, my net ID, and then docs, enter. And it gives me the correct contents. There's a README folder directly inside the docs folder. So in this example, I use the absolute path. We can also achieve the same result using the relative path. So I will show you how to do that using the relative path. Okay. Okay. Now, since I'm inside projects, I want to go inside docs. First, I need to go one step back to the home directory. So I will do ls space dot. And this should take me back to home directory. And now from there, we want to go inside docs directory. So we do / docs, see if it work. And yes, it works. So relative path and absolute path gives you the same result. Next, we'll be talking about some of the common commands. There are commands that are used to display contents or write something inside a file. So here's a small exercise that we'll be doing. The first command we try is echo. Echo will display a text string on the standard output. And standard output just means your screen. And everything you can see on the shell is a standard output. So if I want to display a text string, say hello world, I would do echo hello world and enter, and it displays the string. Next, we'll be using touch, nano, and cat to create a new empty text file, edit it.
And Min, you got a comment in chat.
Yes, I will go back to the previous exercise. You mean like the echo command? So echo, it just display the one before. Okay. Okay. So for the one that I created, the directory, readme, I can show you again how to do it. So right now I'm in my project directory. So I created two directory, project and doc. So here I created two directory in the previous exercise, projects and docs. And inside docs, I created another directory called readme. But I can also do that again. So I created readme inside the docs directory. And right now I'm in the docs directory. But if I'm inside the project directory, and I want to see the contents inside the doc directory, because right now I'm in projects and docs I'm not in the docs directory, but I want to see the contents of it. And in this case, I use the absolute path, or I can use the relative path to see the contents inside the docs directory. So when I use the absolute path, I can do ls and /home /mynetid/docs. And this is the absolute path of the docs directory. When I do this, it will list me the contents inside the docs directory. Okay. And there you go. There's a README folder inside the docs directory. But if I want to use the relative path, ls /docs, because this will take me back to the home directory. And from there, I'll go to the docs directory. So if you use the absolute path and the directory you want to navigate to is inside the home directory, then you have to do you have to go back to the home directory and then navigate to another directory. So you mean navigate, you mean like change to that directory? If you want to change to that directory, first you have to, if say, if you want to navigate to the docs directory and now you inside project, because the docs directory is inside the home directory, you can't go directly from your project directory. First, you have to go back to home, and then you can go to the doc directory from there. Yay. Okay, I'm glad I'm able to answer your question. I'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so we were doing the echo command earlier, and now we will do the touch, nano, and cat commands. And these commands will let you create a new file, edit the file, and then display its contents. And this is a three-step process. I'll show you how to do this. I go back to and then I'll go back to my home directory. I'll create a new directory called grammar, and I'll go inside that directory. So inside grammar, I create a new empty text file using the touch command. I'll use the touch command to create a new empty text file. So touch new.txt, enter. To make sure that the file was created, I will do ls, and yeah, it's in there. And to edit that file, I'll use the nano text editor. So nano space new.txt, enter. So I'm inside the nano text editor. And this is the new.txt file. And here are all the options you can use to edit this file. Here it says that I need to use Control O to write out. So let me type something. Type. Okay, now to save it, I press Control O, enter, and it seems that I wrote 2 lines in the new.txt file. And now I want to go back to my Linux terminal because I'm in the nano text editor right now. To exit, you can use Control X. And we're back to the main screen. So again, you do nano, the name of the text file you want to edit, and you type in whatever you want. Then you use Control O to save it. And then to exit, you use Control X. And to check the contents of the file, you can use the cat command. Cat space.txt, enter. And it displays the contents that I just wrote in the file. So this is how you can create a file, edit it, and display its contents. Let me know if you have any questions.
You got a couple in chat.
Josh, do you know if I don't think you have to load Nano as a module to use Nano.
I didn't think so either. It's weird if it says nano not found. You didn't have anything else typed before the word nano, did you? Google?
No, just nano space new.txt. It says
that's not
bash.
found.
Yeah, it says bash nano command not found.
Interesting.
Is it because I'm using Axis?
I don't think so. You're on faster though?
No, I don't think so. No, I think I'm on. It won't let me log in. I'm using. Let me see. I'm using Launch Portal.
Ah. I don't know what's on launch.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I will try launch myself and see what I can find for you. Give me a minute or two.
Also for your previous somebody who asked, can you create any file type with touch? Yes. You can. The touch command let you create empty files. You can, if you want to create like a Python file, you do touch the name of the file and then .py let you create like a Python file. If you want to create like a config file, you can say touch config and then .yaml. Yes. So Keegan mentioned if you don't have Nano on your machine, you can also try Vim. It's also another text editor. So you can do.
What is it?
Here I will show how you do it using like Vim, another text editor.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Yes, to do that. New. Okay. And to edit it, you press I would let you to insert mode. And you can edit it. So, howdy. Grammar. And in order to save it, first, so you have to exit out of the insert mode. You do escape and then colon, right, and quit. So colon Q, W, Q, and enter. Now you can display the contents of the new.txt file again using cat. Okay, on the chat, Josh just post the direction of how you can load Nano using module load command. So
Yeah, once you load those two modules on launch, you should be able to use nano like Min just showed here.
Perfect. Thank you.
can you try it out and let me know if you still encounter any problem?
How can I exit in VI?
Oh, okay. So you press escape, and then if you don't want to save what you just wrote, you do colon Q exclamation mark enter. If you want to save what you wrote, you do colon W Q enter. Yes, Nano would be easier to use for new user. So if you want to delete empty directory, you can use the rm dir and then the directory name. Let me go back to my home and my projects directory is empty. So say if I want to delete that empty directory, I can use the command rm dir projects. And now it's gone. if you want to delete a file, you can use the rm command. I'll go to my grammar, and I want to delete the new.txt. Do rm and it's deleted. How do you find the empty directory? To find empty directory, usually I use the find command, which is find dot oh yeah, this command like will show you like the empty directory. So rm will work on the files, but if you want to use rm if they have contents, you have to add like option. Like a lot of people use the rm-rf and then the name of the directory or the files you want to delete it. And it will let you delete a directory even if it had contents in it. But I wouldn't recommend using this command because once you delete it, it's gone. And the flag rf basically means like you force it to delete recursively everything in your folder. Once you delete it, it's gone. You can't restore it. So be careful when using the rm command. I'll move to the next slide. For people who don't want to use Nano or V editor because it's not user-friendly, you can also use our dashboard. This is our dashboard. You can go to File and click on Home Directory because we've been working on the home directory. And it's loading. And it will show you all the directories and files you have in your home directory. So we've been working inside the grammar folder. So I can click grammar. Well, I deleted the new.txt, but you can create a new file here. And then it will create a file for you. And then if you want to edit it, you can click on the button right here and click on edit. And it will open an in-browser file editor, which is way easier to use. You save it. So you can also use our portal to edit your files. Right. Next, we're going to talk about the history command. So if you press the up key on your keyboard, you'll be able to see all the previous commands. And this is achieved using a functionality in Linux where it stores all of your commands in the .bash_history file. And if you want to access it, you can type history, enter, and it will list you all the previous command that you use here. You can also use the tail command to with the history command to list out the last 10 lines of what the history commands output. So, history, pipe, down, enter. So the tail command display the last 10 lines of anything, and the pipe operator takes the output of the history command and uses at the input for the tail command. All right, next we're going to talk about options in Linux. So I've been using ls to display the contents of my directory. I'm in my home directory. And ls just show me everything I have in this directory. But if I want to see the hidden files, which are the files that start with a dot, you can add the -a flag. So you do that, enter, and now you can see all of my hidden files. And if you want to see all the file, if you want to see more details about directory and files like permission, creator, you can use the -l flag. And here you see the permissions of the directory and file, the user who created it, and the timestamp. And you can also combine options behind one dash. So ls space -al. And this command will combine the -a and -l flag. Right. Since there are a lot of information to remember, sometimes you don't remember the commands or syntax. And in that case, you can use the menu page to understand what options are available. Like if you do man and then the command name, it will give you the name of the command, how you can use it, and the available options. So if I do man space ls, enter, it will list me like the name of the command, how you can use it, and all the available option. Say you want to search for a specific term, you can do like in this page, after you do man space ls enter, you can press slash and then the term you want to search for. So I want to search for the term all, and then you enter, and then you can press N to file the next match, and you can press Q to quit. So in Linux, all the files and directory are color coded based on their attributes. So symbolic link has the color of turquoise. So symbolic link is like a pointer that points to a different file. You can also understand it as a shortcut on your desktop. And executable files, green, compressed files are red, image files purple, directories are blue, and text files are white. But one thing to note is that these colors aren't universal. So it totally depends on your terminal, and the colors might be different for different people. Next, we'll be talking about the chmod command. And the chmod command, you can use it to set specific permissions to a directory or a file. And we'll be doing this exercise right here for you to understand about the chmod command. So first, I'm in my home directory. I create a new directory on data. And then I go inside data. And I want to create a new text file inside data. Remember the command to create a new text file? Use touch. So I can use the -l to list the detail inside the command. So here's the file1.txt. So right now, these are the set permission for the file1. The first three is for the user. The next three is the group, and the last is the others. So user is basically yourself and your own net ID, and user is part of many groups. So if you set permission on a group level, that's what group means. And everyone outside of your groups are just others. First, I'll show you how to change permission using the symbolic mode. So right now for user yourself, you have the permission to read and write this file. For your group, also read and write, but for others, it's only read permission. So say I want the user to be able to execute the file. I will do chmod space user is you, and you do plus to add permission and minus to remove permission. So plus X for executable permission, and then space file1.txt. So now the user is able to execute file1.txt. Now I create another file, file2. So right now file2 set to read and write for user, read and write for groups, and read only for others. Now I will use another mode to set permission. So what we did earlier, this is symbolic mode. We can also use the absolute mode to set permission. So what we did was using these to set permission. Now we use the numbers to set permission. So 7 is read, write, and execute. So now if I want users to be able to read, write, and execute file2, I have to use number 7. So 7 for the user. And if I want the groups to be able to just read and write, I will do 6, and to keep others to read, I put 4. So yeah, now you set file2 permission to the same with file1 permission. Okay, this will be our last exercise for this grammar, which is the shell script exercise. So we've created an example script which you can copy and run for yourself. So you can navigate to your home directory and then copy the script right here to your home directory. So do it real fast. Enter. Oh. And when you've done it, you can use nano to edit your script, chmod to make the script, make your script executable, and then /myscript.sh to run your script. So right now, my script isn't executable. So I would do five. What does 755 mean? So 7, 5, and 5. So 7 for users, you can read, write, execute. 5 so that the your group and others can read and execute the file. And yes, now you can execute it. Let me show you the content inside my script. So a script always has to start with the shebang. This is the shebang. And all bash scripts must have this as the very top. So the computer knows how to run it. And the pout size start comments and there for you to leave notes and the computer doesn't do anything with them. And this is a variable. This is a variable. And you can call the variable later with the $sign to reuse store data. And this redirection operator let you redirect the output to the file name you provided. Did let you like make a new directory, and the move command let you move the this file inside this directory. And then you go inside the script underscore output directory, and then you can display the output.txt file. So what is group? Okay, so the user, so you are basically your own net ID, right? And you can be a part of many groups. And say if you set permissions on a group level, that's basically what groups mean. It's like a lot of users are part of like this group. So this group have permission to access like this software and the others are not. So that's basically what group means. Josh just say in the chat that group is like a tag and people tagged as part of a certain group can be given specific permissions. We're running script on a logging node. It's into allocated computational time. I'm not sure. Josh, do you know the answer to that question?
Running scripts on login nodes does not eat into SUs like Keegan just said.
Okay.
So this is a discussion for another class, but working on our clusters, you have the login nodes, which you're all on right now. Those are meant for like really small processing things. There's also big beefy compute nodes back behind the scenes, and you have to do certain things to get onto those. You do get charged for running on the compute nodes, but we're not doing that right now. Doing little things on the login nodes will not charge you anything, no.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, so back to the shell script exercise. To edit the script, you use nano like I showed you before, and to run your shell script, you do /myscript.sh, you enter. And this is the output. And if you want to exit your terminal at any given point of time, you can use the exit command. And that's it for today. And let me know if you have any doubts or questions. And you can also go to our knowledge base because we have most of our answer posted there. Or you can also reach out to us at help.hprc@timewithout.edu. How can I download the files directory? Usually to download files directory, you can use Globus Connect. This is very fast and reliable. Or if you just want to download like a small number of file, you can just use our portal. So if you go to our portal, files, if you want to download like a directory, you can click on it and then press the download button right here. But if you want to download like a large number of files, you can use Globus Connect. Yes, mobile exam also work. And if you have time, please fill out the survey for today's course, which Josh posted in the chat. Sometimes the grades portal is very slow because there are a lot of user who use it, and sometimes grade is overwhelmed. Like you can see right here the percentage of notes and cores that grades being utilized, and sometimes a lot of people use this grade, so that's why the portal is somewhat slow. So if you need help, you can go to our knowledge base or you can email it to us. And that's it for today. Thank you for joining us.